Hello to Outer Ranges, Cain and Abel.
Oh,
Hey,
Looks like
how's
you
it
guys are
going?
having fun.
Oh yeah, we're
oh
having a
yeah.
good time.
So, Billy and Luke didn't have the best relationship to begin with. And after the events of season one, it's even worse, obviously. Shaun, from Luke's perspective, how do things change between them after Billy's, we'll call it an accident?
How we opened the season with him shot in the neck. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Billy has always Luke has always looked out for Billy, and it's kind of been a source of um, encumbrance in his life. And just when he thought that he was getting out from under that, Billy gets shot in the neck, and now Luke's task is to care for his brother and his air horn wielding sycophantic behavior. So I think that stokes the fires for Rage a little bit more.
And it's a perfect lead in to Noah. Billy is borderline unbearable with that perfectly described sycophantic bullhorn behavior. What's
Well,
going on with him during season
I,
two? Where is his mind?
I couldn't disagree more with unbearable. I mean, I think when you've been through a major trauma, and you have your ability to feed yourself, go to the bathroom by yourself, move around by yourself. I think when that stuff gets taken from you, you rely on the people that are close to you. You rely on your family, and I think if Luke has an issue with that, that's probably more says more about him than it does about Billy. Um, I think where we pick up with Billy in season two is that he's had a run towards a purpose and a feeling of belonging with Autumn that probably unlike anything he's ever experienced before. And it feels like a calling to him. And taking a bullet through the neck and crashing your truck will change your circumstances fairly dramatically. So season two becomes about trying to get back to any sense of who Billy is and what's going to be possible for him. And one of the main challenges, obviously, is that he's not able to use his voice, which is his main way of communicating and of understanding himself within the world. So there's a level of desperation, I think, to getting back to any sense of normalcy for Billy, but obviously it comes out in interesting ways.
That's putting it mildly. It's
I mean,
it's very interesting watching him and how he behaves is interesting. And it's also interesting that you say that they were very close and he's close to his family. But it's almost like he's taking out what happened to him on everybody around him, especially Luke, with that he gets angrier and angrier, which just pushes Luke to be angrier and angrier. So it's like this blender of emotion that just ties these brothers together and also tears them apart.
Yeah,
How
it's a
do you see that being fixed?
complex family structure. There's no doubt about that.
that's what happens when you drive an uninsured truck and get into an accident like that.
So you guys are nothing like brothers in real life or anything.
They just, open us up to getting sued. You deserve what you got.
Shaun, what is Luke's reaction to the way that Billy's behaving, and more importantly, the weight that his father has put on him to become his brother's caretaker?
I mean, I don't think that Luke thinks it's fair by any means. He has big dreams and big goals, and he's experiencing something that he's never experienced before in Autumn. Um, uh, so it's it feels unfair to him, and I think all of the rage that he has bottled up throughout his life that you saw bottled up in season one, the cork has been loosed, and he's erupting. So you get to watch that. You get to watch him lashing out and in direct conflict with his dad, and then also in direct conflict with, as much as much as Billy and Luke wrestle with one another, both physically, mentally, and spiritually, there's a real close bond there. And so with these feelings of frustration and rage, I mean, a lot of that rage is the battling of his love for him and his desires for what he wants his life to be. So he's, feeling held down by Billy, but also feeling empathy and sorrow for what's happened, but then also feeling this great desire to be moving forward. And so therein lies the conflict.
Um, what would you say, Noah, let's start with you. What is Billy's journey through season two? We've seen where he was. He was kind of the golden child and brought light and happiness to the family through his singing. And he was just viewed as a very special person within that family. And with that taken away and trying to come back, where is he?
Well, I think he's lost. I think that he's lost his ability to be a contributor, not just in his own life, but within his family structure, and certainly for Autumn too, which has been a driving factor for him. And I think that he feels to some degree that he's failed Autumn. And I think that he sees Luke as a real he has a lot of love for his brother, but he thinks his values are out of whack, and he thinks that if he's discovering this mineral and using it like a resource to be gained from, then he's missing out on the true quality of what is possible and what Autumn should be driving towards. So I think that he's kind of he's concerned on Autumn's behalf that Luke could become a bad influence almost, and spin her off into a negative trajectory. So I think he's struggling to regain any sense of himself and to get back to his position for sure.
And same question for you, Shaun. Obviously not for the same circumstances, but also Luke's also dealing with some really heavy emotions, and you get to really bring that to life with a lot of, you know, fraught
Gusto.
emotional scenes, tears, holding back, just real struggles. What is his overall plan, I guess? What's his journey for season two?
Well, he's coming into his own and finding his purpose and passion. I mean, his purpose prior was his father's approval. Was he thought was getting the ranch. He thought was being loved by his dad without condition. And of course, there's a stark awakening when he realizes that will never happen. And then he takes the mineral, and everything opens up, and there's a great rebellion that happens within him, where he's shaking off the shackles of his father's expectations, but at the same time, he still needs his dad to a degree because his dad still is the old lion. So you have a lot of conflict and a lot of emotions coming up that are not only generational, but that are really, really historical for him from his childhood, from all of his experiences, and seeing the love that his father's had for Billy. And Luke has done everything that his father's ever asked. Luke truly is probably more like his dad than anyone. So seeing Billy laid there, he's in conflict because there's a part of him that is like sees the opportunity, move forward, become the man that you're meant to be, and become very important. And also this childhood love of like, that's my brother and he needs help and I should be there for him. But everything that my dad has taught me has been to grab what's mine, to seize the world as I see it. Despite his dad at that time saying, no, you're going to look after Billy, and that's going to be your path to getting what you want. So it's a bit of I think Luke has a hard time grappling with those things.
And my last question is for you, Noah. Billy got to do some of the most absurd scenes in the first season, just really fun stuff that you got to do. What's it like being kind of tied to bed, and how does that change Do you get to do anything fun and absurd in season 2 from your bed?
Oh yeah, well, it's I think for me at times it was as it would be for Billy, quite frustrating to be so bound. But it comes out one way or the other when you have a character as kind of as expressive and as strange as and unique as Billy is. And there are I think there are a few moments in the season where Billy gets to kind of you know, uh, get up out of the bed and experience some of that wild quality. Yeah, and I relished in those moments for sure.
Perfect. Thank you both so much.